Hi, creative friends. This is Freya, and thank you so much for being here. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Up to now, all of my videos have shown me working on one piece at a time, but I don't always work like this because equally so, I also work on multiple art journals, backgrounds, or pieces at a time. Now, there are two main reasons for doing this. The first is simply practicality. So just say I apply a whole bunch of collage here. Well, while I'm waiting for it to dry, I can just move on to my other, other art journal, and I can work on this over here. Now, I have nothing against using a heating tool. I occasionally do use them, but when I allow things to dry naturally, I'm going to bring this up closer here, and you can see the beautiful depth and the color and all the irregularities that can happen. Now, if I was going to use a heating tool, it's going to flatten all the color out, and I really don't like that. And of course, I do not use a heating tool on glue, on any kind of glue, even a glue stick, because it just always turns into a big, horrible mess for me. So the second reason that I love working on multiple pages or art journals or backgrounds at a time is it gives me a sense of non-attachment to any one piece. Because just say I'm working on these faces over here, I can get super obsessive about it. But if I'm working from page to page, like I work a little bit on this and then I work a little bit on, say a background here, then this way I'm not so emotionally invested in any one piece. Now, this may not work for everyone, so it's just a matter of experimenting and see what feels right for you. And I love it when the weather gets warmer outside because I have a little collapsible table and I will put it out on the grass, and then I'll lay out like maybe 12 pieces of Bristol paper or maybe two or three different art journals, and I will just move from one art journal or substrate to another, and everything dries faster. I love being out in nature, and I just love working like that. So I have not shown you like how I work like that. So today I thought would be the perfect time to do that. And another thing is I did a video, and it's about, I want to say it's about a 7 to 8 minute video on me covering up the cover of this art journal with collage. Now, I did have a face that was on here, and there was absolutely nothing wrong with the face per se. I just had no emotional resonance to it anymore. And it's really important that it feels right to me. So I just covered the whole thing up with collage, and I did record it. And it's not a very exciting video in the sense that all I'm showing you is that I'm just covering it up with collage. But I do think that there are some important points, um, where I talk about like the importance of sometimes, just covering something up that's just not resonating with us anymore. There doesn't have to be any specific reason or anything wrong with the piece. Maybe it's just a gut feeling you have that, hey, this is just not the right fit. And for me, it's really important that the cover, especially, it feels right for me because it's going to dictate like everything that is going to happen in all of the pages within the journal. So what I'm going to do right now is I am just going to add some paints on here. And I also have some gorgeous new papers that I picked up. Like, I just absolutely love this handmade paper. It's this absolutely luscious pink with gold dots. So it's like right up my alley. And I'm just gonna lay some collage down on here, and then I'm gonna go and work on the faces over here. And then I'll just kind of move back and forth a little bit. And because this cover is not very big, it's not a big space at all, I can't put down, oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm just absolutely loving that. I can't put down large pieces of collage, especially not something this bright. It's going to overpower the whole page. Like, I can, fill up most of the page with the dictionary pages, but when it's something like really like so outstanding as this piece of paper here, I'm going to have to kind of make the pieces smaller. so let me see here. Now, I think this paper is either made in Nepal or India. And as soon as I saw it, my heart just stopped because I was like, oh my goodness, I absolutely love this. Okay, I don't know. Let me see here. And you can see with this collage, because it is so bold and bright, it really does change the trajectory of the page. Even though I haven't had, I don't have any paints on here, it just really inserts its own energy, if you will. Oh, I'm just loving this so much. So you guys, I hope you can see how working on a few different substrates at one time can really work to your advantage. Like, just say you only have 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So in that case, okay, fine, you might just want to put down some collage and maybe make a few marks, and then that's your 5 or 10 minutes, and then you go on and do whatever you need to do. But just say you have a half an hour. Well, you can add some collage here, and while you wait for this to dry, you can now start working on another piece. And sometimes you can work on 3 or 4 journals at one time. And if I had another cardboard book that was needing to be prepped, I would absolutely work on 3 or 4 different books at one time, because then I can move from page to page to page, and add my collage, wait for it to dry. And oh, I wanted to show you guys this as well. So when I make my background, so the whole page was full of this background. I did a flip through of this a few days ago if you wanted to go back and look at it. But now when I put my figure on here, and I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the page, but a lot of the background, I allow it to work for me. So this over here was part of the background that I let show through in her hair. This was part of the background. 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 And some of the face, it's not as obvious, but there are parts of the face that were also part of the background. So that is a good way for me to, when I'm just doing the background, all I'm thinking about are, do I love the colors and the patterns and the values and whatever. And I'm not really thinking about the finished image. But then when I go to put my figures over top of it, I allow the background to work through the whole entire spread. And I hope I've explained that well enough. So this over here, I'm loving a lot of what is going on. And I think what I'm going to do is just add some of the Liquitex here, because I'm just trying to build up the skin tones and the face, and I really want a very like layered, kind of a lush feeling. And I'm going to bring some of that into here. And I'm really loving the expression on her face over here. Now, I'm not really liking the expression on her face because I'm thinking she looks a little too kind of, I don't know, expressionless, I guess. Well, to me, that's the way I'm reading it right now. So I want to change her expression a little bit. And I might have her with her eyes closed. I'm not really sure yet. And you guys, I'm thinking about making a series of videos about color. And there are so many great YouTube videos out there about color and color theory. So I'm thinking about doing a series on color that has a little bit of a different twist on it. So if you guys have any questions or suggestions, I would really appreciate them because I journal about what I want to make my videos about, and then I try to see what's the best way for me to make my videos. So any kind of concerns or if you have a particular take, I was kind of more going for like the emotional symbolic aspect of color, but I don't know. I'm gonna see how I can approach it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this off to the side and I'm going to allow it to dry. And then I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to work on this over here. Now this isn't completely dry, but I can add some paints on here and just start to build up the layers. Or I can even work on this a little bit actually. So what I'm going to do is just make some outlines here. And so, do you see how this is just a really fun and practical way to work? It just makes sense. And I love working like this because, if I'm getting really frustrated about a piece because I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do, or I'm having trouble with something, I just leave it and I just go to my other journal. And in my other journal, I could just be working on, just maybe a color or a pattern or something. And then that like instantly relaxes me. It frees my mind up. I'm not so frustrated. I'm actually in beginner's mind. And then now when I come back to this, I'm just in a better space and I have some perspective. So, I mean, there's so many reasons to work like this. But like I said, it's a personal preference because maybe some people prefer to work um, on like one spread at a time from start to finish. I've just never kind of been that way. So I'm just building up the layers here. And another thing I do is I have these clothespins, and as long as it's not glue, like I mean, I guess you could try it out with glue, but I haven't had much luck. But if you haven't applied collage and glue onto this page, I can just put this clothespin over here, and then I can just go on here and work on this page over here, you know, and these are still in my early layers. So if I get a little bit of the paint from here onto this, I mean, it's not a big deal to me. And actually, I think I got some of the burnt sienna paint from the face over here. I got it on the blue, and I actually really love that. You know, those just little drips and splatters. So as long as it's not glue, because I find that if you put collage and then the glue and then you close the pages, like if I put collage over here and it's not dry and then I start working on here, it's going to stick these pages together. So I don't do that if it's glue, but you know, if it's paint, it's totally fine with me. And I'm just going to build up the face here, the skin tones. And these are still like early layers. So, you know, who knows what's going to happen and who knows how many more layers I'm going to put over top of this. I'm really loving this blue over here. I think I mixed this blue over here, which is a bright aqua green. So I read this as a bluish green. And I mixed it up with my blue deep from Dick Blick, and I just love this color. I just absolutely love it. It's just such a rich, luscious blue. I'm just totally in love with this blue right now. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna work on this cover a little bit, and I think I'm just gonna kind of, well, no, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. So I don't know what colors to even start with. I have this gorgeous pink here. So I have the pink, and that's green. So pink and green, and I think I'm just going to age some of this. The dictionary pages, I'm just going to kind of like age that a little bit. So I am really loving so much about this page. Like I'm loving all the textures over here, and I'm loving these circles over here, and of course this gorgeous pink, this hot pink. I love it. It's just so delicious. And even though I might cover up some of this paper later, I just want to leave that, I just want to leave it. I don't want to put any paint on top of it for right now. But, you know, I'm going to move this off to the side here. And, you know, I'm going to bring this back here. Now the paint is still wet. It's not 100% dry, but I can add a little bit of paint here. So you guys, I just wanted to just say that, you know, you guys are doing great. A lot of times we think that, or we may think that we have to be good at everything. Like we have to be good at color and value and composition, etc., etc. But you know, we can learn as we go. We don't have to know everything before we start. Like we can just say, hey, you know, okay, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, and I am going to learn, you know, constantly learn. I'm going to get better at these things I'm not so good at, but I'm also going to, you know what my strengths are and play up on my strengths. And, you know, we can just learn as we go. And mixed media is like the perfect way to do that because it is so forgiving. And what might be a disadvantage with another medium, like say watercolor, for instance, in mixed media, we can really use these things to our advantage. And what I mean by that is like, you know, when you make a so-called mistake in using mixed media, you can use that mistake to your advantage because there's so many times when I think, oh my God, you know, this is a terrible mistake. But then you just go, oh, okay, actually this has worked out to my advantage because it makes more texture and depth and interest, etc. Okay, you guys, I hope that this has been interesting and you guys have learned a little bit of something new or been inspired. And if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.